Have you ever wondered about the incredible miracles Jesus performed, big and small, while he walked the earth? We often hear of the grand, life-altering events, the moments that defied the very laws of nature. But what about the quieter acts of compassion, the miracles that touch the lives of ordinary people in their everyday struggles? These acts, from the simplest gesture of kindness to the most profound display of power, paint a picture of a love that is both intimately personal and universally vast. Each miracle is a thread in a divine tapestry, revealing a different facet of who Jesus was and is. Today, we'll journey through the wonders of Jesus, from the most humble acts to the greatest displays of divine power, all according to the King James Version. Together, we will walk the dusty roads of Galilee, stand on the shores of the sea, and witness moments that have echoed through millennia. We will explore not just what he did, but why he did it. What do these miracles tell us about faith, about humanity, and about the nature of God himself? It's a story of hope, of restoration, and of a power that transcends our understanding. This exploration is an invitation to see these familiar stories with fresh eyes, to feel the awe of those who were there. As we go through each one, I want you to consider its significance, both then and now. So, prepare your heart and mind for this incredible journey. Watch closely and see if you recognize them all. Let's begin to unravel the profound mysteries held within each miraculous act, starting with the very first one recorded. Our journey begins not with a display of earth-shattering power, but at a celebration of love and unity, a wedding in Cana of Galilee. As described in the Gospel of John, the festivities are in full swing, but a shadow of social disgrace looms. The wine, a symbol of joy and abundance, has run out. It is here, amidst a simple human dilemma, that we witness the first of his signs. His mother Mary approaches him, not with a demand, but with a quiet statement of fact, a testament to her faith in him. They have no wine. Jesus' response is intriguing, yet he honors her trust. He instructs the servants to fill 6 stone water pots, vessels used for ceremonial purification, to the brim with water. In this quiet, almost understated moment, a profound transformation occurs. What was ordinary common water becomes the finest wine, a gift that not only saves the celebration, but elevates it. The governor of the feast, unaware of the miracle's source, marvels at its quality. This act, found in John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11, is more than just a solution to a social problem. It is a sign that Jesus cares for the details of our lives, for our joys and our social connections. It shows a power that doesn't just restore but enhances, turning the water of our daily routines into the wine of divine blessing. It was the moment he manifested forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. From a celebration, we move to a scene of profound isolation and suffering. In the book of Matthew, a man approaches Jesus. He is a leper, an outcast from society, considered unclean and untouchable by law and by custom. His disease had stripped him not only of his health but of his community, his family, his very identity. Yet, filled with a desperate hope, he kneels before Jesus. He doesn't demand healing, he makes a statement of profound faith. Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. He places the decision entirely in Jesus' hands, acknowledging his power while submitting to his will. This is faith in its purest form. What happens next defies every social and religious taboo of the time. Jesus, moved with compassion, does the unthinkable. He reaches out his hand and touches the man. In that single, compassionate touch, he bridges the chasm of fear and uncleanness. He doesn't just speak a word from a distance, he makes physical contact, affirming the man's humanity before healing his disease. As told in Matthew chapter 8 verses 2 and 3, Jesus says, "I will, be thou clean," and immediately the leprosy vanishes. This miracle is a powerful declaration that no one is beyond the reach of God's touch, and that his will is for wholeness and restoration. Imagine being in a small fishing boat tossed violently on a raging sea. The sky is dark, the wind howls, and waves crash over the sides, filling the vessel with water. This is the terrifying scene the disciples find themselves in, as described in the Gospel of Mark. They are seasoned fishermen, men who know this sea like the back of their hands, yet they are overcome with fear. They believe they are about to perish. Their panic and desperation are palpable as they search for their master, the one they follow, the one they believe in. And where is Jesus? He is asleep in the stern of the boat, resting on a pillow, seemingly oblivious to the chaos. His peace is a stark contrast to their terror. They wake him, their words a mixture of fear and accusation. "Master, carest thou not that we perish?" Jesus arises. He doesn't steady the boat or help bail the water. He addresses the very source of their fear. In Mark chapter 4 verse 39, he rebukes the wind and speaks directly to the tumultuous sea, commanding it with absolute authority. "Peace, be still." And instantly the wind ceases, and a great, profound calm settles over the water. The miracle wasn't just for the disciples' safety, it was a revelation of his identity, the one whom even the winds and the sea obey. Picture, if you will, a vast crowd, a multitude of thousands, gathered on a grassy hillside in a remote place. They have followed Jesus, drawn by his teachings and the healing they have witnessed. As the day wears on, a practical problem pops up. The people are hungry, and honestly, there's just no food to be found. The disciples, ever practical and logical, see only one solution: send the crowds away to nearby villages to buy food for themselves. It's a reasonable suggestion born from a sense of scarcity. They see a great need and, well, pretty limited resources. But Jesus, he sees an opportunity for a different kind of provision. He turns to his disciples and says, "They need not depart. Give you them to eat." Then he asks them what they have, and their answer is almost laughably small, just 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fishes. It's nothing against the hunger of so many. Yet Jesus takes this meager offering. As Matthew chapter 14 verses 19 through 21 recount, he looks up to heaven, gives thanks, breaks the bread, and gives it to the disciples to distribute. What follows is a miracle of impossible abundance. The food multiplies in their hands, enough to feed 5,000 men, in addition to the women and children, until all are full. And afterward, they gather 12 baskets of leftover fragments, far more than they started with. Night has fallen on the Sea of Galilee. The disciples are alone again in their boat, straining at the oars against a contrary wind. They are in the middle of the lake, far from shore, enveloped by the darkness. This time it's not a violent storm but a wearying, relentless struggle against the elements. They are making little progress, tired and perhaps disheartened. Hours have passed, and in the 4th watch of the night, the darkest hours just before the dawn, they see something that terrifies them. A figure, an apparition, is walking towards them on the surface of the churning water. Their immediate reaction is fear. They cry out, thinking they have seen a spirit. In their exhaustion and the dim light, the sight is incomprehensible, a violation of the natural order that strikes terror into their hearts. But then, a familiar voice cuts through the wind and their fear. As described in Matthew chapter 14, verses 25 through 27, Jesus speaks to them, offering reassurance. "Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid." He is not a ghost, but their master, demonstrating a power over creation that is absolute. This miracle is a profound statement of his divine nature, showing that the very laws of physics are subject to his will. He comes to them in the midst of their struggle, walking over the very thing that was hindering them. We now turn to a story of desperate faith and heartbreaking loss. A man named Jairus, a ruler of the synagogue, a man of status and importance, falls at Jesus' feet. His public position is forgotten in the face of a father's anguish. His young daughter, only 12 years old, is at the point of death. He begs Jesus to come and lay his hands on her, so she might be healed and live. But on the way, a delay occurs, and messengers arrive with the devastating news: "Thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further?" Hope seems lost. The professional mourners have already begun their wailing. But Jesus, overhearing their words of finality, turns to the grieving father and speaks words of incredible faith. "Be not afraid, only believe." He allows only Peter, James, and John, along with the girl's parents, to enter the room where the child lies. He quiets the commotion and approaches the girl. To the onlookers, she is gone. But to Jesus, she is merely sleeping. As we read in Mark chapter 5, verses 41 and 42, he takes her by the hand, a gentle personal touch, and speaks 2 simple Aramaic words, Talitha Kumi, which means, "Damsel, I say unto thee, arise." And immediately the girl gets up and begins to walk. He has not just healed a sickness, he has reversed death itself, turning a room of mourning into a scene of quiet, astonished joy. Our final miracle is perhaps the most staggering, the most definitive display of Jesus' power over life and death before his own resurrection. We journey to Bethany, to the home of his dear friends Mary, Martha, and their brother Lazarus. Jesus receives word that Lazarus is sick, yet he intentionally waits 2 more days before traveling. By the time he arrives, Lazarus has been in the tomb for 4 days. In the minds of everyone there, including his grieving sisters, all hope is gone. Martha in her sorrow confronts Jesus, "Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died." Her words are a mix of faith and deep disappointment. Jesus reassures her, making one of the most powerful statements in all of Scripture, "I am the resurrection and the life." He goes to the tomb, a cave with a stone rolled against its entrance, and commands that the stone be taken away. Martha protests, citing the decay that would have already set in after 4 days. But Jesus insists, he prays, and then as John chapter 11 verses 43 and 44 tell us, he cries out with a loud voice, a command that echoes with divine authority, "Lazarus, come forth." From the darkness of the tomb, the impossible happens. Lazarus, still bound in his grave clothes, emerges. He who was dead is alive again. This was not a resuscitation, it was a resurrection, a sign pointing to the ultimate victory over the grave that Jesus himself would soon achieve. From the joy of a wedding feast to the profound silence of an empty tomb, we have walked through these incredible moments together. Each miracle, whether small or great, reveals a different dimension of Jesus' power and compassion. He turned water to wine, showing care for our daily lives. He touched the untouchable, cleansed the leper, and calmed the raging sea, demonstrating authority over sickness, society, and nature itself. He fed the hungry thousands and walked on water, proving that his provision and presence defy all human limitation. He brought life back to a young girl and called a man from a 4-day death, conquering the grave. These are not just stories from a distant past. They are living testaments to a power that is still at work in the world today. They are an invitation to believe in the impossible, to trust in a love that can restore what is broken, and to have faith in a God for whom nothing is too difficult. The same Jesus who performed these wonders is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The echo of his voice saying, "Peace, be still," or "Come forth," still resonates, offering hope and transformation to all who will listen. If these miracles inspired you, imagine what's possible in your own life. The power that raised Lazarus from the dead is a power that can bring new life to your circumstances. Ponder these stories, let them sink deep into your heart, and ask yourself, what storms do I need calmed? What hunger needs to be filled? Don't forget to like, comment with which miracle resonates most with you, and subscribe for more powerful stories from the Word. Thank you for joining me on this journey. See you in the next video.